Welcome to episode 67. You smell that? It's board games. Yeah, this week we're pairing board games and smells. Just go with us on this one.
Hello and welcome to Adamantly Analog, the only scratch and sniff board gaming podcast. That's right. Go ahead, just scratch your screen of your phone right now and just take a big... Oh yeah, well, okay. Adamantly Analog is not liable for any damages that are incurred while you are scratching your computer screen or your phone screen. Hi, I'm your host, Harrison Dunn.
I hope your phone can stand up to a simple scratch, because in this day and age, I mean, these things they have to be indestructible, right? You use them for everything. They're in your pocket all the time. You get thrown around the room. Yeah, I'm Corey Murphy, by the way.
Your phones are probably a little more durable than a scratch and sniff, but I gotta throw that in there. Like, if I'm telling people to scratch their devices, I don't want to be held accountable. I don't want people to start emailing us with pictures of scratched through phone screens and monitors and car dashboards because they scratched too hard. It's not on me. You got to control your own strength.
I'd say my phone is about the most expensive thing that I just willingly toss across the room, like onto a couch or onto a bed or something. But
Oh, yeah.
you consider like how much you paid for these things. You probably shouldn't be doing that, but it's working. Still works.
Yep. We're still here. This isn't about scratch and sniff phones. Let's talk about scratch and sniff board games or games that smell. No, smells that go with games. Something like that. We'll figure it out on the fly.
Yeah, we're gonna paint a picture of the perfect board gaming environment based on the pairing of a smell and a game, right? And
Yeah.
as Harrison and I were just discussing off the cast, we took a little bit of a different approach with this. So I think we've covered a lot of bases with this list.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be great. Well, before we get to that, you've been playing any board games that you want to shout out?
I have. We had a game night the other night, and it was inadvertently a Rome themed board game night, ancient Rome. We played Deus and Glory to Rome back to back. And man, I've talked a lot about Glory to Rome. I love that game, and I'm always reminded of how good it is. If you get the chance to play someone's copy, because it's very expensive, do it, because it's so unique. It doesn't have like the most amazing review on Board Game Geek. It's not usually at the top of someone's list, but that might have something to do with the rarity.
Mhm.
But it is just such a different take on board gaming with all the multi-use cards and the really cool building of an engine using patrons, which effectively allow you to get more actions. It's just like there's nothing like it. I love Glory to Rome. But let me talk about Deus. Deus is cool. And Deus is on Board Game Arena, if you're curious about this one, much more accessible. And I see it frequently on the resale shelves and on clearance. And I got my copy for like $15. And this is a great game. This is a super underrated, fly under the radar area control tableau builder with pretty decent production too. I think that all the pieces are all these little wooden bits and the cards are high quality. You've played this, right, Harrison?
It looks a little familiar, but I can't tell if that's because like the circles as hex board is just used elsewhere.
Yeah, it's
I don't
kind of a
I don't know
weird
that I have.
it's kind of a weird board. It's like I said, it's area control, so there's all these different territories with different different environments, different biomes basically. And I have to say one of them is called swamp, but it looks like a desert. It's very confusing. Anyways, beside that point, you are like building this engine of cards that represent different gods. There's like 5 different colors, and each color is a different god. So on your turn, you're either playing a card into the stack of similarly colored cards and then placing a building onto the board, um, and then activating all of these stacks of that same card. So every time you take the action, it gets a little stronger and stronger. It like builds up naturally. Or if you can't do that, it's probably because you ran out of cards or resources. Then you make an offering to the gods and you discard cards from your hand and refill your hand. And whichever card you choose to elect as your offering card when you discard, that triggers a different kind of like replenishment ability. Either you're getting more buildings or more resources or more money or just like way more cards. And that's kind of the hook of the game. It's just kind of back and forth. You're trying to take over these barbarian camps and spread your buildings across the map. And as you're building your tableau, some of the tableau cards, the temples, give you different scoring conditions that encourage you to, like, say, stack a bunch of buildings in a lot of different spaces or spread out or, various different things. So it kind of changes your goals as you play. So it's like an hour to an hour and a half printed on the box. And I was pleased that my gaming group, who is notoriously indecisive, managed to finish it in an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh,
So
there
that
you
was
go.
cool. We had someone learning too. So would highly recommend Deus. Very cool game. Though we were
Yeah.
joking, it looks like it says devs on the game box because it's a like an ancient Greek font and the U is like a V.
Oh, yep. I could definitely see that.
Yeah. How about you, Harrison?
Well, we got Lightning Train to the table again yesterday and played it at 3 players, and I think it clicked for me. Now, I said last time that we talked about this that I was going to try solo mode because you sung some pretty high praises of Dune Imperium
Oh yeah.
as a solo game. Um, same designer, Dire Wolf and Paul Denon. But I played it again at 3 players, and it clicked, and it felt really good to play. I had a better idea of like what I was doing. So I don't necessarily want to support giant heavy games requiring 3 plays to like really fall in love with them, but I'm hooked now. I'd like it if it got me on the first go, but enough people wanted to try it that I got to teach 3 groups. Um, Downside is that game didn't feel very close. Upside is the other 2 players that were learning had a great time. They really enjoyed it and wanted to play again. So this is the newest bag building game from, as I mentioned, Paul Denon and Dire Wolf Games, same group that did Clank and Dune Imperium. So it's a bag building game that is about trains, building train routes across America, and it is way heavier than the box art made me think it was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, though, Harrison, I do have to offer. I think that I don't think a game necessarily has to win you over from the first play, and usually, if it doesn't, and it is regarded as like a game by others, maybe it grows on you because it's got some depth that needs to be discovered. So some games you find that depth early, and then you just kind of like you max out on it. You're like, okay, I've done this. I've done the things. I'm moving on to the next thing. And others, it's like once you start to gets its hooks into you, I should say. It kind of like pulls you closer and closer, and you're like, oh, I want to discover more about this. I want to uncover those secrets.
Yeah,
So
100%. That is a valid way to enjoy games. I just prefer my big games to have a stronger hook up front for the
mhm.
for the first time play. I gotta feel it right away. Um, like there's some other equally loved or more loved games out there that did not hook me on the first go, and I'm like, I don't want to put the time in to learn this again and get it on the table. So yeah. Anyway, Lightning Train. I'm looking forward to trying it again, playing it more.
We might have a podcast episode in there. Games that grew on us.
The other one I wanted a quick shout out. I got to learn Paper Tales yesterday from Stronghold Games. This is a uh, card drafting, tableau building style game. It was pitched to me as a little bit of Seven Wonders style. So it's a medieval fantasy, high fantasy themed, and it feels like it's trying to pare down drafting to be as light as possible or to be as like brief as possible, but also provide a more crunchy drafting experience maybe that you would find in like a Magic the Gathering draft. I don't know if that description is accurate at all, but what it does is you only draft from a hand of 5 cards. We played a 3-player game, and that meant that it was pretty easy to track what people were picking up around the table, which I really enjoyed. Only 3 players, only looking at 5 cards, so I'm only seeing less than 15 cards in a given hand. But then the thing that gets me is you draft these cards, and then you have to put them in front of you in a 2 by 2 grid. So you're not playing one card, and the cards you do play, you have to pay for in coins. So there's a little bit of tension there already in the drafting. A lot of cards cost 0, so they're a little easier to get out. You do some war phase, you get some resources, there's some like building upgrade things. And then in the next round, you draft 5 more cards, and then you still have that 2 by 2 grid from last round, probably. And now you have 5 cards in hand and nowhere to play them. So it uses this cool mechanic of like aging. Like once a card has been out for a round, it ages. It gets this little moon token on it, and once it has 2 moon tokens on it, it gets discarded.
Hmm.
But that means at the start of the second round, you're probably going to have a grip full of cards and 4 cards that haven't aged. So now you have to decide, okay, do I want to just prematurely discard and lose the value on these cards in favor of new ones, or do I just want to do nothing this round and not play any of the cards that I drafted. I feel like it was trying to be in favor of like, ooh, really strong tactical decision making, but it just gives you a few too many tools and not enough space to use them, and it made me feel a little bit disappointed. I wanted to like be able to play more of the stuff that I drafted, and it turns out you're not able to. You're probably only going to play one or two cards of the five that you drafted, which just felt weird.
Mhm.
Um, so have you tried this one? Have you seen this one?
I've seen it. This is another one that's frequently for sale on my local buy to sell trade page. It looks cool. Is
Yeah.
paper a reference to the art? Is it because it's like
Yes.
this? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the artwork is kind of like a paper craft world type thing where everything is represented by a sheet of paper. It feels closer to like a Paper Mario style thing than it does
Hmm.
like sea salt and paper. It's not like origami realistic photos. It's definitely like big fantasy things, and every different color is a block of that looks like it was cut out of paper. Um,
Really well done, though. It's cool.
yeah, really gorgeous game. I love the aging mechanic, but the actual tools they give you to play the game just I did not jive with
Mm.
right out the gate. So it was short enough that I would try it again to like maybe see if my brain can wrap it around then, or maybe a different group. But it was a weird one. Yeah,
Hmm. Looks a little like Castle Combo. Any
still haven't
similarity
played
there?
it. Still haven't
Oh
played
yeah.
it.
Okay. I thought you had.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
Not trying to shame you or anything, but you should play
Well, shame on me.
it.
But yeah, that's me. Should we head over to that topic?
Yeah.
Let's go smell some games. All right, this week's topic we have favorite smells to pair with our games? Question mark. So we're gonna talk about a game and what smell we think would go well with it, whether that is based on our own personal sense memories or something we think is a thematic tie-in with the game. I think we did a little bit of both in these lists. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. All right. And I came up with a first player rule. I'm just good at making these up now. The last person to light a candle.
Mm.
When was
Yeah.
the last time you lit a candle?
That's how we protect the smells in the bathroom from public consumption. So so I probably, the last couple days.
Okay.
Pretty regular over here.
I've not lit a candle in quite some time because most candle scents are too strong and make Lauren not feel so good. So it's been quite a while. I don't know why I keep on making
Okay.
these first player rules that I lose.
Yeah, well,
The next episode's going to be the last person to be named Harrison.
that was me. Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Why don't you start us off, Corey?
I picked my games to kinda describe a scene where I picture myself playing the games, and that gives me fond memories of moments that I like to play them best in. So for my first game, I picked Cascadia as the game, and the pairing of smells with Cascadia is a nice, warm, cozy, refreshing smell of chocolate chip cookies baking in the background. Because Cascadia is exactly that. It's kind of like a low brain intensity game. There is definitely decision space in there. It's awesome. I love the game, but it's just relaxing. It's fun. You can socialize over it. You can enjoy some cookies. You can even have chocolate on your fingers because most of the most of the components are wooden chips that are easy enough to clean off. Whereas you would destroy some cards. And I just like I think this is a good fit for like a Sunday night. We just had dinner at the folks' house, and it's time to bust out a game and bake some cookies in the background.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's played Cascadia by now, so I don't think I need to describe it too closely, but it is a tile drafting game where you are pairing animals with environment spaces on a hex grid, and you score by connecting similar hexes into large groups, as well as pairing animals with the habitats that they enjoy most, which is a variety of different shapes and configurations based on the animal.
You've painted a very good picture here because as you were talking that and describing it, I can see Cascadia on the table and I can smell the cookies.
Hmm.
And that
Yep.
sounds wonderful. Would you like to stop the podcast? We can meet halfway between Milwaukee and Madison. Sure, someone's baking cookies somewhere.
We like to make muffins when we play board games. It's I don't know, it's our personal preference, but it also does work out really well because it doesn't gum up your fingers. You gotta consider the life and the longevity of the games when you're eating. But
Not a
chocolate
bad
chip
idea.
cookie is just a more relatable smell. I thought that was better.
Yeah, 100%. I can relate to that.
So that is Cascadia and chocolate chip cookies baking in the oven.
All right, so for my first one, went a little bit of set the scene, but also like a thematic tie-in here. So I imagine a night where I have some friends over and say, "Hey guys, we're gonna be here for the rest of the night," but not because we're playing a long game, but because while we're playing this game, we're gonna be tasting whiskeys, and so I think the smell of fresh, different whiskeys and maybe even scotches would go well with a game of Isle of Skye from Chieftain to King.
Yep,
Uh, right? So, I
I see
mean,
it. Yeah.
the easy through line here is a game about you know, Scottish history, and then you're collecting whiskey barrels as a form of currency. So,
Mhm.
like that's the oh duh yeah connection. But I think that would form for that would be a really classy evening. Isle of Skye's got a lot of player interaction in it too. So as you're maybe you taste a new whiskey every round and get some those nice smells flowing around, and then by the end of it, you're gonna have some pretty crazy heated trades maybe or some auctions going on. People
Mhm.
are trying to get those last pieces to fill in their scoring conditions for their maps, but maybe don't have the right amount of money because they couldn't plan correctly. uh, yeah, I've talked about Isle of Skye a couple of times, but this is one of my favorite tile laying games, one of my favorite games of all time. I'm really bad at like auction games as it is, but the style here where you secretly set the prices of your tiles and then kind of reveal to everyone, and then you get to shop around. That just feels a little bit lower stakes and something that I can latch on to a bit easier. And the building out your own map is really satisfying. Uh, Being able to get multiple tiles in a turn because you planned well or budgeted well feels good too. And
Mhm.
this is just a solid game overall. Biggest downside: 3 players minimum. No 2 player mode. No solo mode. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
I
from
like that it's
2015.
I appreciate that it's just honest with itself. Doesn't try
Yeah.
to fake a two-player mode in there.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good pairing, Harrison. And this one is interactive, even though you said it's kind of light on the interaction. It's definitely still interactive in it, and it feels like a good time to be drinking whiskey and having some fun with some friends. So
Yeah.
good choice. Similarly, you could do beer and brass, or I thought of this one too: beer and bread, and you guessed it,
Beer and
beer and
bread.
bread. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, and bread and beer both smell good too. So fresh baked
Yeah.
bread. Okay. Hold on, changing my entire list. Yeah, so that is a whiskey tasting, the smell of whiskeys with Isle of Skye from Chieftain to King.
All right, my second one is coffee and really any heavy Euro game, but I chose Ark Nova to be represented in this case because I think Ark Nova is one of the greatest games we don't talk about enough on this podcast. But I'm picturing, it's a Saturday morning, you slept in a little bit, fired up some coffee, got the French press going, and you're putting together a heavy Euro game on the table for. Well, what I do is I usually set it up before Nikki even wakes up and gets out of the bedroom so I can be like, "Hey, look, it's already set up. We're gonna play."
There you go.
Um, and so yeah, there's nothing better than that Saturday morning with the sun shining in, and you're playing a game of something like Ark Nova or Teotihuacan or Great Western Trail or something big and meaty, because that's when my focus is best and my ability to process thoughts is unhindered by how tired I am from the day. I just got
Yep, I
done
can
sleeping.
tell.
No excuses. Yeah, thank you. So, yes, of course, Ark Nova is a very popular 2021 big giant tableau building zoo game. So I can't possibly describe this on this podcast, but there's a lot happening here. It's hefty, it's amazing, and it involves a lot of synergies and interactions that are just so juicy and fun. So I love it. In fact, I might have to do this on Saturday.
Yep, that I really wanted to go with a coffee plus like morning time game, but I couldn't think of the right one for me. And I think you summed it up very well. That's a good call.
Yeah. Might even say ground coffee beans in Ark Nova. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Ground coffee beans in Ark Nova because there's nothing better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to drink the coffee. Just grind beans
No,
in the
no, just
background.
yeah, just smell them. You'll get a little caffeine from that, right?
Hey, it's my turn. Go grind those beans. All right. Well, that is time for my second then, I guess. Yeah, let's do this. So, I was trying to think of like, ooh, what are some good smells out there, and then what are some games to go with them. I tried to approach it from that direction, and as much as I hate mowing the lawn, I love the smell of fresh cut grass. Like,
Mhm,
I I think that the lawn industry and the fact that we have so much time and energy devoted to grass is a scam. Don't get me started, but I do like that smell. Like it's just something about it is very pleasing. I know a lot of people have allergies related to grass pollens and stuff. I'm very sorry if you feel left out in this portion of the episode. I'm sure we'll have some good smells for you coming up. But fresh cut grass, and I want to pair that with Welcome to. So a game about building out a brand new neighborhood with those perfectly trimmed lawns and uh, nice white fences and actually the imagery in Welcome to is probably a little problematic. But the game itself is I would say a little bit crunchier of a flippin' right style game, right? Because there's a lot of different scoring conditions to consider. Each round,
mhm.
you're flipping over some cards to give you a choice of different lots to fill in, different numbers to fill out on your sheet as you're building homes on your in your new neighborhood, but also scoring conditions that you can fill in, like building pools or parks, or setting up fences to make different size lots. So lots of extra crunchy decisions. And I every time I go back to this one, I'm like, this game's a lot heavier than I remember. Like, not
Mhm.
crazy heavy because it's a roll and right, flip and right style game, but still, there's a lot more crunch there than I remember.
Yeah,
So
you're not wrong.
imagine, yeah, playing this on a lovely spring, summer, fall afternoon. After you cut the grass or after someone else cut the grass, just crack the window open and you can get those fresh smells in there. I think that'd be a perfect experience.
Yeah, or how about this? You have the window open and the neighbors are doing the yard work and you're just
Yeah,
playing
there you
games.
go. There you go. Yeah, I hate being outside.
Yeah, this one you're not wrong about it. It does feel heavier than and it comes off and it's like you're just doing one basic thing. You're like picking a number and placing it on a house. And then you activate the associate ability, but it's pretty focused on the activity. And then the choices are heavy and have a lot of implications in your ability to continue on because you can really put yourself in a back yourself into a corner and run out of spaces to build those houses.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good game.
Yep.
Love this one.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a while. I should go back and play that. Maybe I'll toss it in my bag for games next week.
Yeah,
So
nice.
that is the smell of freshly cut grass with Welcome to from Blue Cocker Games.
Okay, my last one. Just thinking about this one, I'm like, how do I get this into my schedule in the next couple weeks? Because I have a really busy schedule, but man, I would love to get a game day together where we can play Kemet, Blood and Sand, and eat delivery pizza with the boys. Okay, I say the
I'm
boys, quote
there.
unquote, right?
Yep.
Because I've got a group of guys that we get together with and we play the combat heavy games, and actually we're due for a game night, so this is probably what's next. Um, and so it could be Kemet, it could be Arcs, could be whatever, Nemesis. We play Nemesis a lot. But ordering a pizza from like the greasiest pizza establishment paired with a game that might take us a few hours to play, it's like an event, it's like a Saturday we're
Mhm.
getting together. And man, we usually get Jets. You ever have Jets pizza? It's like Detroit
Oh, yeah.
style. Yeah, oh,
Yep.
that's good
Oh,
stuff.
man. That's good.
Just make sure you dry your hands before you touch my painted minis, though. All that grease is gonna kill him. But Kemet, one of my favorite games of all time. I have Blood and Sand, but I did have to pick Blood and Sand, the newest version, because if you check my list, all of my releases this week are from 2021. Boom. Look
That's
at
the
that.
only reason. There you go.
Yeah, that's why. No.
That's
But
probably
yeah,
a little easier to get.
yeah, that too. Kemet is an incredible area control game. It is a very aggressive, fighting oriented game, so it's not for everybody. But those that enjoy it will enjoy it quite a bit. It starts out with a pretty simple turn structure. You're taking pretty basic actions, but the game's complexity evolves as you add technology tiles to your collection. Those are going to add different abilities, different activations. They're going to power up some of your abilities. They might even add these monster minis that you can, kind of buzz around on the map with, like a giant crocodile or like 25-foot snake or something scary. And those all have unique abilities too. So, one of my favorites of all time. I would play it any day. You don't even need the delivery pizza, but that adds the cherry on top.
Right.
What
Well,
do you?
Oh, go ahead.
I said, what do you like most about Kemet?
The artwork.
That's good. All right, I'll take it. I was gonna force Harrison to say something nice about this game because I think he doesn't like it, and that's okay. Like I said, not for everybody.
I think I should try it again. It's been a while. I've played Cyclades since, and I think if I play it without Lauren, that I will be able to enjoy it more and not be as, hung up on making my life partner play a game that she doesn't enjoy.
Yeah, basically when we played it, our whole group was adverse to the idea of fighting games, so it was probably not the best environment for anyone. I'm glad we made it through though. That was cool.
Yeah.
Everyone tried it.
All right. So my final game is now I'm gonna pitch this as a potential bling component upgrade to the game. Right. So we've all
Mhm.
talked about you and I have talked about Comic Hunters from
Yeah,
2020 Spin Master. It came out last year in the U.S. because it was originally a overseas international thing. Because it's got all the Marvel comics on it. There's a huge rights thing. Anyway,
yep.
that game, the US version, is notoriously underproduced, poor card quality. People, instantly get their own tokens for upgrades, their card sleeves, etc.
Typos.
But yeah, typos, rule books. Yeah. Here's my bling suggestion though. You go online, you find like the cheapest comic books or the cheapest like box of magic boosters or something, and you just throw one in there. And then when you play this game, before you play it, you just crack open that new comic book or you rip open a new pack of magic cards, you take a big whiff of that like fresh ink and cardboard because the smell of newly opened comics and cards is cannot be beaten. It's really the only thing missing from Comic Hunters, right? Because like part of the
Mhm.
collection is cracking open those new comics and stuff. So that's what I want to pair. I want to get like a fresh cardboard scented candle and just store it
Uh-huh.
with my Comic Hunters, and I think I'd play it a lot more often.
Nice.
So for those that are unfamiliar with Comic Hunters, that's a card drafting game where you're collecting different sets of comics based on the Marvel superheroes, trying to get Spider-Man comics and Black Panther comics, etc. And one of the hooks of the game, besides the fact that it's got all these Marvel comic covers in it on all the cards, is that it is multiple different forms of drafting over the course of the game. So, in one stage you might be doing just traditional pick and pass drafting, and others you might be uh, picking from a row or column of a grid and taking all the same things of a hero, or
Or
doing an
even
auction
bidding.
style.
Yeah.
Yep, bidding. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that you are acquiring cards, and that gives some like cool texture and flow to the game. And then each of the different comics are sorted into like the three different eras of comic book history, and they have different values on them. So you might pick up a card because you really want that Iron Man to complete your collection, or you might get it because it's a three value card, and that's really helpful for like solidifying the rest of your collection or getting new cards later. So it has some cool multi-use cards, great art, horrific production. It's just missing that little bit of the fresh cardboard, fresh ink smell.
Yeah, it's a very simplified game concept, but they play around with it in ways that are really interesting and really entertaining. So yeah, it's the cool comic book art that brought you there. It's the enticing, thinky gameplay that kept you. It's definitely not the production. I'll echo that. It's terrible.
Yeah, yep.
I'm glad you brought this one up, Harrison, because I had written and deleted this off of my list. I was gonna say freshly opened Marvel Champions cards and Marvel Champions. I thought that was a little bit of a cop out, but you're right. Just smelling a new pack of cards, it's like just a great feeling. And
Oh
with
man,
any
it's
game
great.
like Marvel Champions or Comic Hunters, where it's like it's got this kind of collectible element to it, there's this kind of triggered memory whenever you smell those new cards. You're just like, I don't know, it kind of brings me to my collection and I don't
Yep.
know, that's how my brain works.
Yep. Oh yeah, I've got strong positive memories of like cracking new packs at Friday Night Magic for the
Yeah.
original Ravnicas when I really got into that, and those were the days.
Yep, yep. Oh, I should say we played Magic over the weekend, and holy cow, the complexity has crept up insanely high on those cards. I was so overwhelmed, and that's, coming from a player of Magic for 20 years. So, something nice about these board games like Comic Hunters, there is literally no text on the cards. It's just numbers and pictures.
Cool. So that is my third and final pick. Newly opened cards or comics with Comic Hunters.
Awesome. Got a lot of good smells on this list, Harrison.
Smells like, well, it doesn't smell like beige this time. It smells like colorful, wonderful aromas.
Mhm.
You want to wrap up that list for us?
Yeah, we're smelling chocolate chip cookies while playing Cascadia, ground coffee beans while playing Arc Nova, delivery pizza while playing Kemet Blood and Sand, and we're smelling whiskey while playing Isle of Skye, fresh cut grass with Welcome To, and newly opened comics with Comic Hunters.
That's a
Mmm,
that's a good smelling list.
a sensory overload.
All right, well that brings us to the end of another great smelling episode of Adamantly Analog. Uh, hey Corey, what have you been doing besides playing all these board games?
Well, I'm making my way through the top 100 movies. I was halfway through Parasite before I fell asleep last night. That's the number one, but it's a good one so far. But I did finish and can report back on Thunderbolts, which you had previously talked about. But I just have
Yeah,
to say, I think using this platform for good is important. And I want to put out there that Thunderbolts is one of the best Marvel movies made in a long time. And it did not get enough buzz. I mean, this is a funny movie. There's a lot of really comedic scenes in it. It's got some awesome action. The story's great. Man, why aren't people talking about Thunderbolts?
it's Marvel. It's got too much weight to carry on its
Ugh,
shoulders. I think aside from whatever Avengers movie they put out next, like I don't think any Marvel project is going to have a chance of being well received.
yeah,
Despite what all the critics say, they'll be like, "Yeah, this is a good Marvel movie." People are just not going to go see it. They're not going to talk about it because there's too much Marvel. I
yeah,
disagree. I want more, but
yeah. Right. I mean, and I think we got Marvel overload in the last 10 years or so with all the Endgame buildup, but, I know that they're trying to kinda rehash the universe a little bit, and this is one of this is a new introduction of a super team. I think this is a big deal for their Marvel Cinematic Universe. It does feel a little rushed at times with the plot, but not to the extent of the Eternals. That one was terrible. I'm sorry. But yeah, there were definitely some scenes where I was actually just laughing my butt off, mostly because of Red Guardian. He is a hilarious character.
yeah, yeah, David Harbour does a great job with him.
And Yelena Belova is an awesome, like, she's almost the lead in this movie. She is so good. I love her.
Yeah, that is I really enjoy it. I want to watch it again.
Cool. And what have you been doing?
Nothing. Nope.
Yeah.
Just getting ready. That the big thing that's happening. We're recording on a Wednesday here, and tomorrow is September 4th, and that just happens to be the day that the world is going to change because Hollow Knight Silk Song comes out
Oh no.
finally after many 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 years. So I'm looking forward to trying that out, but I haven't actually played it yet. But I'm
Okay.
I'm like excited enough that I wanted to talk about it.
What is it? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So, Hollow Knight was a well, let me just fact check myself before I misspeak on the record here and embarrass myself. So Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania style game from 2017
Mm,
that is highly regarded as like one of the best indie games ever. Metroidvania being a game that follows the style of the original Metroid or Castlevania, like a 2D side-scrolling action platformer where you get upgrades that help you explore more of the map.
gotcha.
Um, and this game was it's got a very like striking art style. You play as this like little black and white bug character. All the other characters are these kind of cutesy bugs, but it's very grim dark otherwise. Uh, and it's very difficult too. It's got, or I shouldn't say very difficult, but it has sections that reward you for investing into the combat system and like optional bosses and stuff. So shortly after this game was released, the team was like, "Hey, guess what? We're working on a sequel." And then there was like an announcement for it the following year, and they're like, "It's coming soon." And that was like 2019. and it's become an ongoing joke that like, oh, Silk Song's coming out. Silk Song, the sequel is called Hollow Knight Silk Song, uh, and it just never came out, and it kept going and it kept going, and to the point where it became a meme online called silk posting. If you make a false release announcement or development update for Silk Song and then posted it as if it was legit and tricked people into thinking it was real news, it was called a silk post.
Hmm.
There was the whole thing about that. So they finally actually announced the real date a couple weeks ago, and that they're like, oh yeah, it's coming out in 2 weeks, and the community's losing its mind, and very excited. So it it's a new game in the series. You play as one of the sort of antagonists from the first game, who's got this needle weapon that she throws around and zips around the screen on a needle and thread. Very very cool, stylish looking game.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Okay, I've played Metroid. I'm not usually a big fan of the action games, but there is some hook to Metroid where you are like kind of upgrading your character with different abilities and
Mm-hmm.
sort of puzzling you through. You always have to like backtrack and figure out how to get into doors after you
Yep.
acquire the abilities. That's cool. Yeah,
Hollow Knight is the cream of the crop for that style of game,
is
and
it?
it is it's not even on sale right now on Steam, and it's $15. So
Hmm,
it is one of the best bangs for your buck out there as far as like content and quality of game.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey Corey, let's wrap up this episode. As much as I love talking about you and smells, I gotta go
Yeah.
make some smells, and by that I mean I gotta go make dinner.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying because that could mean a lot of things. Well, next week we're not talking about smells anymore, are we?
Well, join us next week for games that are light on the rules but heavy on the game. You know, those ones
Mm,
with the itty bitty teeny rule books, but the like big game that you keep on coming back for. Uh, at least I hope that's what we're talking about.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So
All
I'll see you
right.
there.
Okay. Thank you
All right.
everyone so much for listening. Have a good one.
Bye. Adamantly Analog is Corey Murphy and Harrison Dunn. Original themes and bumper music by Corey Murphy. Reach us at adamantlyanalog@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.